everybody, and today I want to talk to you about how to use code blocks, okay? So first of all, to use code blocks, you have to download code blocks, okay? So if you go to start here, I have a link for you to download code blocks, and this should be the latest version. The most important thing is that you have to use the Ming W version, okay? So it may be the Ming W 32-bit version, or it may be the Ming W 64-bit version, okay? Either one of those you should download onto your computer to get code blocks, all right? I don't advise you to use the no setup. Use the .exe. You can either go to FossHub and get it, or you can go to SourceForge and get it. It doesn't matter. Either place is fine. All right. So right here, you see this block, this notification that popped up. You would click Save File. Okay. And that's how you would get code blocks. Now, I'm going to cancel it because I already have code blocks. All right, once you install code block, you'll go through and the wizard, the setup wizard will let you install it, okay? Once you install it, it looks like this, okay? This is code blocks, okay. Now, here is one of the issues that people tend to have is when they install it, sometimes they don't have the compiler in the correct place. And so if you have a compiler error, it's because you don't have the compiler in the right place. So in order to put the compiler, you need the right path, basically. It's not that it's not in the right place. It's just that CodeBlocks doesn't know the correct path to get to your compiler. And so it thinks you don't have a compiler. So you would go to settings, all right, and you would go to compiler. And then you would go to tool chain executables. You would click there, okay? Now, the important thing is that you want this path to have the right place to get to Ming GW bin, right? So sometimes the path is wrong, and your path could be different than my path, all right? If we go and we look, you have to find out on your computer where is code blocks, okay? So if I look on my computer, I go to the C drive, all right? I could look in program files, right? If I look in program files and I look for code blocks is not in program files. So if my path had program files in it, I'm going to get an error from my compiler. Okay, so it's not in program files. So let's try program files times 86. All right, look, here's code blocks. So I'm good to go. So then I click on code blocks. All right, I need Ming GW. So I click on Ming GW, all right? Then I click on bin, all right? And you can't see anything because all of these files are hidden, but this is where my files would be, all right? So this is the correct path, and the files that I can't see that are hidden are these. So Ming 32 gcc.exe, g++.exe, g++.exe, gcc-ar.exe, all right, windres.exe, and Ming32 make.exe, all right. So if I have the right path where my Ming GW code blocks is located and the bin folder, you should be able to auto detect all these files, all right? So you'll be fine. So make sure your setting is set up like this, okay? And then you shouldn't have any problems in code blocks, all right? So let's get rid of the compiler settings. And let's, all right, so once your compiler is set up and you're good to go and you want to put in a file, this is what you do. You go to empty file, okay? That's where you go. And then the file, so let's say we were going to do your group assignment. We're going to do your group assignment from this week, all right? So you would have gone to lessons, You would have gone to test 1 material. You would have gone to week 1. Okay, and then we go to your group assignment here. So here's the file that has the program. It's a Word file. Now here is my warning to you. In these Word files, sometimes the quotation marks are incorrect. The quotation marks that Word use, you see how they're kind of slanted, are not the right quotation marks for Code Blocks, the Code Blocks compiler, and it'll give you an error. But you'll see when we put it in. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to press Control C for Control Copy. Okay. And I'm going to move this out the way and go back to Code Blocks. Okay. I'm going to type Control V to paste it in. All right. You notice that it's gray. That means that you have not saved it yet. So then I have to go to Save. Save is this little floppy disk. You might not know what a floppy disk is, but this, all right? Where do I want to save it to? Okay, I suggest that you create a folder called Programming or something like that, okay? So I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to Documentation. I think I have a Programming folder. Let's see if I do. I do. Programming, right? That's your programming class. All right, so I'm going to save it here, and I'm going to call it a Simple C program. That's the name of it. .c. You always have to put the .c extension on any file that you create in C programming. All right, so then I'm going to save it, and then look at this. Now I get colors, so that lets me know that I saved it. Okay, so now that I saved it, let me see if I can build and run it and see if it'll do what it's supposed to do. All right, so I click this little icon up here, build and run. It's a gear with a triangle. And then look what I get. I get a bunch of error messages. Okay, so let's see. I want to make my error message area a little bit bigger. Okay, warnings are okay. They don't bother us, but errors bother us, right? So it says error on line 11, okay? And it has this red block here that lets you know that's the error. So what's wrong? That's what I have to figure out. What's wrong? Well, what's wrong is what I was telling you before about these quotation marks. Now, you see how they're just straight up and down when I change them? Those are the correct quotation marks for the C compiler. So are there any more? Here's another one. We need to change all of the quotation marks. All right, I think that's it. So let's try to build and run it again and see what happens. Voila, it ran. It ran correctly, right? And this is my message. You are learning C. So that's what this program does. This program prints out a message that you are learning C. All right, and it's just as simple as that. It's not that hard. All right, just looking at the line number and going and trying to figure out what you typed in incorrectly. So I hope this helps you learn how to install and make a program in Code Blocks. I'll see you next week. Bye.